lecture hall with Seymour Hirsch? Oh, is this the lecture hall with Seymour Hirsch? I'm looking for the one with Seymour Hirsch because it's a policy and press hall event. So shouldn't we be talking about the Nord Stream since that's the biggest story of the century? And you guys, I'm sorry. I mean, you have the executive editor of the New York Times there who came out with a phony story to try and block Seymour Hirsch. It's just kind of funny how that happened, I mean, did you even acknowledge Seymour Hirsch? All of you are executive editors of papers that broke Pentagon, My Lai, Watergate. Is this the same papers or not? I mean, is there anything you've gotten right in the last 20 years, or am I mistaken about that? I mean, it's just kind of funny because Iraq, wrong. Syria, wrong. Russiagate, really wrong. Okay, I mean, the list goes on and on. So the last thing you could do to try and actually fix your reputation is acknowledge that through leaks, we had to find out that Zelensky was going to bomb Moscow on the anniversary. I mean, if you're so impartial, shouldn't you at least say, right, that Zelensky was going to bring us on the verge of World War III? That seems pretty fair. While Julian Assange rots in prison, all of you got, fat checks because he's in jail for doing your job.
What's poppin'? My friends, my family, welcome to RBN Wednesday Live. Other people call the show Nick at Night, and I may be warming to that name. Welcome to Nick at Night, based Jose Vega, calling out the corporate media right to their face. Glenn Greenwald said it best, and we're gonna finish this video, but before I do, I want to get our guests in here. Can we have the man himself? We got Jose Vega join us, and our great friend Misty. Glenn Greenwald, I watched it in a segment on System Update. I was on there a few times, not a big deal. But he said it best. He said there should be more anger at the media. And even though there's anger at the media, no matter how much you hate the media, no matter how much you despise the media, no matter how much you look at polls that say the American people do not trust the media, it is not enough. It's not enough. And that's what our buddy Glenn said. And trust me, we're going to finish this video. But I'm going to introduce my guest. You guys know my good friend, Comrade Misty, honorary RBN member. We had to bring her on this conversation. A fantastic activist, citizen journalist. Welcome, my friend.
Hello. And first of all, standing ovation.
We still got
Jose Vega. Yes, standing ovation.
Yeah, that's you will hear bullshit platitudes from the ruling class about how, man, we need more people involved in politics. They don't mean that.
That's not what they meant.
What they really mean is they want more people showing up every 2 years to vote.
Well, they want more people donating. They want,
yeah.
Can you donate, please? Like that's the involvement they want you to have. They want your money. They do not want you to come to town halls and other meetings and call them out to their faces. They don't want that. That's not the involvement they're looking for.
you had the bourgeois Z that was like, we need more people involved in politics. And Jose was like, bet, all right, I'm going to show you what that looks like.
Challenge accepted.
Let's put Jose in the street. This is our man.
Hi.
What's poppin', Jose
Jose!
Vega.
Thank you.
Great work as always. We played your call-out videos as our intros quite a few times.
I always
doing. Go ahead, Jose. Welcome to the network.
No. I always appreciate that. I still remember when the Jamal Bowman intervention got covered. That was like the very first ones, and I knew right there. I was like, okay, I'm onto something with these town hall interruptions. Yeah, no, and so I appreciate being able to come on your network and your audience. And same thing, Misty had me on TNT Radio a few times, and I'll be back on TNT Radio with
next
Misty,
week, Tuesday. Tune in. Yeah.
I was there last week. It's always fun. Like it's a 1 hour rant session.
Yeah.
Pretty much when you see me and Misty on RBN,
it is just a rant session.
That's me and Misty on her radio show was an hour.
Yeah.
Dropping heat. But I gotta make sure I check out the one that you did with Misty, Jose.
It was good. Yeah, it was fun.
They're good.
I'm gonna pull the video back up because I stopped it in the intro because I just want to give everyone
You stopped it at a
My
good
word.
part too. My guy was like, Julian Assange is in prison for doing your job.
Ah,
Yes.
that's why my
Thank
friend
you.
Misty here. I knew she would like that.
Yeah.
I knew she would like that.
Well, I mean, there's
Good.
people who were involved in the leaks on that. Well, not those people, but outlets that were involved in the leaks. They should, if Julian Assange is in prison, they should be too. Period. End of story. Period.
Yeah.
End of story. But that's not the case.
What's that guy named Nick Mulvaney from Russia, whatever. Like you have media and journalists always bring them up, but never bring up Julian Assange.
Nobody does.
Our media, like now, there's a story I'm gonna cover later. I think this guy's in the UK. I gotta check the exact academia. This guy's being charged, and he's begging them not to send him to prison because he has cancer. So right now he has house arrest because he has ties to China. Ties to China.
He has ties to China, or he has ties to China. Like they don't,
China, quote unquote.
Okay.
Quote unquote. So
like I have ties to Russia, that kind of ties.
You are Putin's buddy, by the way.
I am 100% besties.
I want to continue this video, but you have you had the government crack down on free speech and free press in this country. You even have the ruling class have the nerve to think they have the right to label who or who not as a journalist. That's why I always introduce when I have my friend Misty on, like citizen journalist, my friend Andrew on citizen journalist, because I'm trying to decolonize your mind. Anyone who share and educate people that can inform people what's going on in the world. We are citizen journalists, and we need to be, because our corporate media has gaslighted and lied to people to death. Like Americans, even when you see Jose's videos like these, whenever you see AOC and Chuck Schumer called out, and then people start jeering at the people calling out the ruling class, those are people's minds been turned to mush by American propaganda. They are barely a functioning potato when it comes to critical thinking skills. Now, they are idiot savants, like people like Ben Carson. They went to school. They're much better students than I was. They got all A's. They're good at studying through books, right? They're really good with bookworm shit, right? And they're a nurse. They're a brain surgeon. They're some sort of fucking manager. They're great at their job. Well, but when it comes to critical thinking skills, fucking potato.
Yeah. Yes. I know a lot of people like that.
But let's continue the video. Feel free to interrupt anytime. I'm gonna play this part again. I stopped this here because it is such a elbow drop by Jose, because he's in jail for doing your job. That's
yes.
So I'll play that part again, and then feel free to stop anytime, guys.
At least say right that Zelensky was going to bring us on the verge of World War III. That seems pretty fair.
Oh yeah, I actually do want to.
While Julian Assange rots in prison, all of you got, fat checks because he's in jail for doing your job. And you know what? Tucker Carlson ain't no Seymour Hersh, but he did something you guys are scared to do: speak the truth and actually be critical.
And that's the part that people who have no nuance, because nuance is dead. Nuance is completely dead in political conversation. When we say that Tucker Carlson is speaking out against the Ukraine war, it's more like, why the fuck is he the only guy?
Well, and it's just true. Like, it's just true. Calm down. Tucker Carlson speaks against the conflict in Ukraine and our involvement in Ukraine. That's just the truth. Regardless of the intention behind Tucker Carlson doing it, whether he's a limited hangout, it doesn't matter. The fact is, Tucker Carlson speaks the truth on Ukraine. Period. That is a fact. So when we say that, you can't be like, "Oh, you're a no." That's just reality. I don't support Tucker Carlson. I don't like Tucker Carlson. I've always been clear about how I've always called Tucker Carlson a paid propagandist. He is what he is. Like, he's not anybody that should be trusted. But for whatever reason, he is occasionally allowed to speak truth, and he is occasionally allowed to have dissenting voices on. And the fact that anybody has a problem with that being exploited to our benefit is mind blowing to me. I don't get it. I don't understand.
Well, yeah, he would probably say the same thing about us. I'd be like, I don't agree with these people. I don't like these people. I mean, he said that. What did he say about the Uhuru group? He said, right, listen, these guys diametrically opposed, but I don't want my opponents
anything. Yeah,
censored in jail.
I was talking to Glenn because Glenn was on Tucker's show. He was talking about it, and Glenn gave information to Tucker about the Black Uhuru Socialist movement. And then if you guys watch the segment again, watch it again, at the very end, Tucker was like, "Man, you made me start to like these people now."
Well,
like,
he's,
what?
I mean,
now
whether or not he's being legit, Jimmy turned him on Assange. He used to be anti-Assange. And then, and here's the thing, despite being anti-Assange, he would still have people on to talk about Assange, which I mean, that's cool. I mean, I like when people have conversations on things they don't agree with. But so that was cool. I mean, but he even said in the interview that he did with Jimmy, you have changed my mind with the power of your argument. And again, doesn't matter if that's a legitimate sentiment from Tucker or if he's playing Jimmy. Doesn't matter. Fact is, millions of people were introduced and exposed to what's happening to Julian Assange and how it affects their lives.
That's such a good point, Misty. Because they like, you think he really believes it? No, it does not fucking matter.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Whether he does or doesn't is irrelevant. The fact is, he had 4 or 5 million people watching his show every night. And if you are somebody who cares about your ideas and you want to express them to other people, and if you want to win, because in order to win, you need to convince people who don't already agree with you that your ideas are better. And so you have to be able to and willing to go to talk to those people. And Tucker Carlson, 4 or 5 million people every night, have the ability to speak to, who would otherwise never hear the things that Jimmy Dore and Glenn Greenwald and Aaron Mate and Max Blumenthal and Anya Parampil were talking about on Fox News. They would have never, you know what I mean? They talk about like healthcare and you know what I'm saying? Like and that's anti-war stuff, Assange stuff, free speech. I mean, that's amazing. I think that's an amazing thing. And I don't know why you wouldn't want to exploit a huge platform like that in order to express your ideas. It's weird to me.
And it's such they are such bullshit artists, and we need to start calling them what they are, because they are 100% okay with the Mickey Kantz going on Fox News and making an ass out of herself.
Yeah.
Embarrassing the quote unquote left, because they present her on the left. And me and CJ did a breakdown on this a long time ago. And I don't know when the last time she was on Fox, but there was a period where the Mickey Kantz kept going on Fox, and then she kept getting bodied. Like she was getting bodied every single fucking time because she's there to make the left look bad. These boutique leftists, these Starbucks leftists, these people have no criticism to say about the Mickey Kantz doing that, embarrassing the left on Fox News. Meanwhile, you have Glenn Greenwald, you had Jimmy Dore, you have Max Blumenthal, you have Aaron Mate, you have many others that go on Tucker Carlson and speak on anti-war left principles, and then they freak out like, "How dare you go on Fox News?" It's like, you guys are fucking bullshit.
Well, they're also fine with AOC going to talk to Jen Psaki. I mean, you don't have a problem. You don't have a problem with people going on MSNBC, because I have a problem. If you're going to have a problem with Tucker Carlson, then you should certainly have a problem with people going on Fox or on MSNBC.
Absolutely.
So your hypocrisy is just incredible. It is ridiculous. I mean, I don't know what that is.
Weaponized hypocrisy is corruption.
Yeah.
You guys realize that?
Yeah.
That's why we shouldn't stand for it. Meanwhile, progressive left is like, come on, man. We just got to beat Republicans. Who cares about these blatant hypocrisies that we call out all the time?
Yeah, of course. And I would just say, I think, part of the reason why Tucker allowing, people on the left and Glenn Greenwald to come on and present differing viewpoints of what his audience would believe is, I don't think people are static. I don't think people have like a fixed belief system for the rest of their lives.
You should.
I mean, if they're not provoked to change, they will always have that. But the beauty of it is that somebody like Glenn Greenwald comes in and explaining, Assange, or Jimmy Dore comes in and people are like, I didn't see it that way before. Yeah. And if you just see, it's not even about convincing people that you're right. It's about getting them to think critically about what they think. Like, wow, for a long time, I only thought this way. Could it be possible that I'm wrong about what I believe and what other things I might believe too? So it's about getting a process in somebody's mind to actually start considering whether or not the way they're thinking about things is even right. And that I think matters more.
Yeah, I'm only in this game to persuade. When I have people that tell me they leave the two-party duopoly, I have people tell me they don't vote Democrat, they focus more on mutual aid because of RBN. They done with Democrats. That's every time I hear that this shit makes me smile, because I'm in to win people over. There are people to the right. I remember this. I'm not gonna blow them up, but there was this black conservative person who still posts cringe social view shit, but they're like, man, I thought I hate all left ideas, but then I saw you, and I'm like, I don't actually hate all left ideas. I just hate Democrats. Like, that's slowly winning people over your side. I like when I have people on the right that say, yeah, man, you a Marxist communist, but I agree with you. I heard you on Jimmy and Glenn, and I got agreements with you. That is what we're supposed to do. But liberals have disdain towards this politics. Misty, we talked about this before. They legitimately believe that there should be no effort put towards winning over working class people that have problematic ideas. They want people to be already perfectly packaged, and if you're not passing their specific litmus test, they are out of the club. They are out of the approved group. Meanwhile, what we say is, let's have a conversation. Let's win these people over. But elite bourgeoisie liberals, they don't believe that we can do that because they inherently right wing. So they inherently believe that left ideas are not persuasive. So they think when you organize with a right winger, you will always be drifted to the right. That's why they say you can't organize with this libertarian. You can't organize with these working class people who don't believe in abortion, because they believe right wing ideas will win over workers because they believe workers are dumb. I don't believe that. I believe workers always understand their material conditions, but they are misled by the two-party duopoly, by culture wars, and by the directions that the ruling class want them to take on issues and how they want them to feel about each other's neighbors. But I spare you guys that lecture. I can go all day on that. Anything else you guys want to add? And I'll get back.
Well,
I'll get back to the video.
It's not even about organizing. This is what frustrates me. Nobody is asking you to be besties with somebody that you disagree with on some things. You don't like, this is not about organizing with people. This is about recognizing that we have a common goal. And in order to get there, we're much stronger together. And so listen, I'm selfish, you guys. I would like to get some shit done. Please. Can we get something done? Anything, literally anything would be cool at this point. Anything. I'll take fucking anything. So I want to get some shit done. I'm tired of people dying because they don't have healthcare. I'm tired of journalists being persecuted. Matt Taibbi's been threatened with arrest now. I'm so tired of we're on this massive, we've headed off of a cliff and everybody's arguing over what color the flower is that we're about to land on. And you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking nuts, the things that we are distracting ourselves with. And it's crazy to me that we cannot get people to, I just think people are completely incapable of understanding or comprehending what a single issue coalition is, what it looks like, what it means, what it's used for. You don't have to be best friends. Nobody's saying you have to have organizing meetings and hang out together and share ideas and strategies. You don't even have to trust that you don't have to like them. I want to get this thing done. And if we have millions of people instead of thousands, way cooler. And it's just, I don't know. It's so frustrating, guys. It is so frustrating that people do not. And it's the same, the Tucker Carlson thing's the same thing. They cannot comprehend the fact that you can, at the same time, think he is generally very distasteful and a scumbag, and also recognize that he is right on some things and on some really important things, and be willing to hold those two thoughts in your head at the same time. And it's just, I don't know. It's very frustrating.
Well said. Jose, anything else you want to add before we get back to the video?
No, I think we could get. Oh, I will say just the one thing I said about Zelensky blowing up Moscow on the anniversary of the invasion, that came out because of these the Discord leaks, right? So this was actually published the day before I did this. So 2 days ago, this was published that Zelensky and his generals were going to bomb Moscow. Okay, they were going to bomb Moscow with the weapons and bombs that we gave them, that our money is paying for, and they were going to go and bomb a major city.
Something else corporate media not curious about, Jose. Not interested in that.
That's why I said, why did we have to find that out through leaks? And so, and I guess the way the Washington Post reported, because they eventually did report on it, was trying to praise Biden as a hero, oh look, the heroic U.S. had to step in and stop, and they wouldn't blame Zelensky. They blamed the general, the rogue general who wanted to do this.
How is it? And for people who don't think we're just a straight propaganda state, how is it that the people who are executive editors, these not just random reporters of the biggest corporate outlets, these are the least curious people in the world? No curiosity. Who did Nord Stream? Don't really care.
That's why they have those jobs, Nick. That's why. Because they're willing to be stenographers. Oh, this is the news for today. Thank you, Mr. CIA agent. Here, give this to your staff. Let them write an article about it, pretending as if it's anonymous sources, and move about your day.
Yeah, right.
So I'm gonna get back to the video. Feel free to stop anytime, guys. I saw you posted part 2. I didn't actually watch it, but we can play it live. So we can go through that as well. So let's get to the video, and then
ain't no Seymour Hirsch. but he did something you guys are scared to do, speak the truth and actually be critical of the war, which is why he was actually fired from Fox, because you are all cowards, every single one of you. None of you have actually had any relevancy, and you know what? The mainstream press is now dying. Nobody's ever going to listen to you again. You have no credibility with the public. The only people who care about what you have to say are elite assholes who have nothing productive to say anymore, and it's dying off. So will you at least say something? Either
Now
about
this says everything. For one, amazing job, Jose, because I love how you don't let the crowd throw you off. You don't let these bootlicking sycophants who probably are paid insiders that are here to make sure people don't jeer these events. That's definitely tactics that they engage in. But I love how you like, man, I don't care what they say. I'm gonna keep going like a heel wrestler cutting a promo. Like, don't give a fuck what the crowd say. You just keep going.
Game time, man. It's like LeBron, you know, you gotta cut out all.
You got that Mamba.
My man says like LeBron. That's real though. That's real. Like before I get my speech at Working Straight Back, I was like, let's go. Like, get myself hyped.
Yeah.
It's game time. Like, it's time to fucking go. Y'all make sure you ready. Treat the shit like a sport. And you did. You was ready.
I do that when I lift. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
guys, if you guys think that's not beneficial, you're out of your goddamn
it absolutely
mind.
is.
Adrenaline and mental state is extremely important in regarding into intense activities. I know that as someone who used to be in martial arts and sparred countless, you have to do a pre-pump. You have to do a pre-pump. It's scientifically proven to work. So I love that you had that mindset. It works. But also the second point, the second reason I paused it here is because the silence says everything.
Yes.
Our boy Jose Vega pinned these people to the wall.
Yeah.
And it was
what can they say, Nick? What could they possibly say at this point that would not make them? I mean, they have that. What can they say? There's nothing. We didn't cover that story because we were told not to, and we were told to make up this fake story to run counter to it, to shift the narrative, and we just did as we were told. What are they fucking supposed to say?
Why are you pleading the fifth? The fuck?
Yeah, I was hoping that they would.
Go ahead.
I was hoping that they would at least say something like, well, you know, Seymour Hersh's reporting is wrong or has been debunked. Or
he's just a blogger.
Or I would have thought they would have said like
terrified. They were terrified because you came in prepared and you were spitting facts. So they was like, man, we can't walk into a trap. So they smart enough to know that.
Yeah.
Like, they plead the fifth. They didn't want to walk themselves into another crime. Because at that point, they're like, bro, we say anything that's wrong, that's gonna create another soundbite for this guy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sorry, go ahead, Jose.
No, yeah, exactly.
So that's actually smart what they did, and it's a sign of defeat because they rather take the small L of them appearing silent than them speaking out and them getting dismantled in a debate. Because what they want you to think is that Jose is some hoodlum, he's some thug here to interrupt this event. So imagine if you're an executive editor at the New York Times and you're getting washed by this person that you guys want to present as a deplorable. That would not be a good look. So it's better for you to stay silent.
Yeah.
So let's continue. I'll play a part again because the silence says everything, and we can continue.
Will you at least say something, either about Nord Stream or Ukraine, or the fact that Zelensky brought us to the verge of World War III, and the only reason we knew about that was through leaks? Go ahead. It's a free speech event, right? You guys are the press.
That's good work, Jose.
Let's say something here. Mr. Khan, come on. You know, you're the executive editor of the New York Times, you know?
He's like, I'll plead the fifth, man. See, that's perfect what you did. Cause when you do that, that exposes them. Why not say something? Like you don't have any rebuttal for this.
Yeah, right. If you're confident in what you believe in, then say it, speak it, right? But they are afraid of what they have to say because they know it's wrong. They know it's a lie. They understand that anything they say right there will be held against them.
Yeah.
All these people have people who check everything they have to say, right? They have to report to people. They can't say literally anything because all the people on that stage, and the host was like some MSNBC guy, Jonathan Capehart. All of those people, they said anything at all. It's it. It's done.
Yeah, it's over. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's a wrap. Let's continue.
Just trying to get into some good trouble here, man. Woo. Listen, Karen, get out of my face for a second. I got to talk to these gentlemen.
Yeah.
I just want to hear what they have to say. Go ahead. I'm done.
You'll see the Karen. You'll see the Karen.
Is
She's right there.
Ah, my God.
She kept like putting her hand like this and then putting her face on my face, which is a little weird. But yeah, you'll see how she moves with me.
Is she security?
No,
she's probably a staffer. She's probably like somebody's staffer.
That's why she's the ultimate Karen. She's just there. She's like, bro, how dare you challenge the ruling class?
Look at this guy. Look at this guy in the front with the glasses. You paused that in a perfect place, Nick. His face is everything.
Yeah. It's glorious. I'm glad I brought Missy to this. Let's and then look at the black cop. He know who he's. Yeah. He know who what side he is on. Don't worry, I can say this, guys. I told you guys many times before. The black cop is the worst one. They're the worst one. They got a chip on their shoulder. They got to prove to the Karen that he's on their side.
Yeah,
they got to overcompensate, guys.
There's an old saying here in New York that the cop that'll beat you the hardest is the one that looks just like you.
Yes.
Well, I think it Lil Wayne that said he got shot when he was like 11 or something, and a bunch of cops came in, like they ran over top of this little boy laying on the ground dying, and they were worried about getting the drugs and the money and all the weapons and whatever. And he said that the cop that saved him was a white guy. Like the only cop that stopped was the white cop.
So
I think it was Lil Wayne. I'm pretty sure.
I want you guys to decolonize your mind here. That's what we want you to do in the RBN. If you're a good cop, let's just run a hypothetical. Wouldn't you say, "Nah, I'm not gonna stop him. He got First Amendment rights."
Yeah. Well, if you're a good cop, Nick, you are an ex-cop because you quit because you realize it's corrupt as fuck and there's no way you can possibly be a good person in that system.
Absolutely.
It's just not either you are doing really terrible things or you are witnessing terrible things being done and not speaking out about it. That's it. That's it.
Misty. Let's run with this fancy land that they want us to believe in. Let's just run with it.
If we had good cops and this was a good cop, yes, he would be like, he has First Amendment right. Everybody cool down. Let's see if they want to answer the question. Whatever.
He's not even a real cop. He's just Columbia security and they look like cops, but they're not real cops.
Got it.
So, actually, and what they do is you'll see, as we get in it, when they tackle me to the ground, legally, they're not allowed to tackle me. Or
that's why I thought it was cops because of that.
No, they're not allowed to. And it's the dean of Columbia himself who is the one who decided to tackle me down. Oh, actually, I have the audio of it because I know it's the dean of Columbia because actually somebody from TYT was at the event and they put a little thing up that said, "Whoa, protester." Yeah, some Jonathan something put up a tweet saying at the Columbia event, "Oh, he a come." This guy from TYT put up something saying protester just gets dragged to the ground by Dean of Columbia, and then as I'm being dragged out by the guy, I'm telling him, "Yo, let go of my chest for a second," because he's kind of holding me tight. I really couldn't breathe for a second because he was like bear hugging me, and I told him, "Yo, just let me go for a second so I can breathe." He's like, "I don't trust you."
How's that not if he's not a cop? How is that not assault?
It is assault.
What I mean? I will argue it's assault even if it is a cop. But once again, let's go by the rules for a second. If he's not a cop, how's that just not assault, bro? The fuck?
Yeah.
Did this corporation lobby to get their security guard special exemption from the law? That's not how it works.
No.
Yeah, right.
No. Well, it is kind of how it works.
Let's say this in general, because we see this all the time with police officers because these are the people who step in these situations a lot of times, especially at public events. And what I said is completely out of mind. That was the most American was never consider that. Why won't cop deny the order to stop a protester? If there's someone protesting a political event, there are cops there that stop them from doing
peacefully,
that. Why the fuck are they doing that? Why can't they say I can't stop him because they're First Amendment rights? They got a right to protest. If they did that, we all know they would be fired.
Yep.
We all know. And why is that? Why don't Americans just ask questions about how our society works?
Well, there's also they could probably get you on like maybe disturbing the peace. Like there's some loophole where they can, where you're doing you're whatever.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
I know you agree with me, Misty.
Yeah.
I'm saying in general that law that's bullshit.
No, it is, but it is bullshit, of course. But there's always, I mean, they write the rules, right? So it doesn't, even if it's completely against the law, there's no accountability. There's no fucking accountability, and there never will be. I mean, as long as we're in this system, this is how it'll work. They can get away with whatever they want, doing whatever they want, tackling people. And you think it's bad now? This shit's only getting worse. Clearly.
It's gonna get worse, dude. They got to restrict that coming, guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Full steam ahead. They don't give a fuck.
We're fucked.
They increasing the police state every year, fucking year. Every year the police state gets more surveillance powers. They get more advanced technology, bro. And then the working class is going around watching Netflix. Everything's okay. Meanwhile, police states everywhere around them. And then something happens to them. And then a tragedy strikes in their life, whether it be someone get cancer, get bankrupted because of medical debt, whether someone's killed by the police. Like me, CJ, and Rome all have families that have been derailed because of this. Like you just going around your normal like Then tragedy happened and people are like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
We try and prevent this shit from happening. But let's continue the video. And then we still got a little bit more of this and we got part 2. So let's continue.
You're not gonna tell him to. Come.
Wait your turn.
You could project if we can't.
You can speak anytime.
You need to, yeah.
So thank you.
All right.
I do think that we need to give our moderator a chance to ask other questions.
We're on the verge of World War III.
What? So Jose, do you guys realize what she just said? So Jose came up here and brought some serious ass questions, and then this person's like, no, wait. No, we need a moderator to ask other questions. This is not meant to be a serious event. Like Jose came here and started asking serious questions and started talking about serious issues. We hear the bullshit. So can we change the topic?
Can Jose just be the moderator?
No, but the other thing is like what her answer implies is that even if I was to, like, what would have happened differently if they did have a Q&A and I asked the question? Because she's saying, well, we need to hear other questions now. It's like, well, okay, well, what about mine?
Yeah.
Right. So, would you have just tossed that to the side too? What would have happened? Right. And also, I want to point out that the audience was maybe it's like 50 or 60 people there. The average age must have been something like 55 or 60 or something. Right. Yeah. So, and also another thing to point out, like this was a big 2-day conference open to the public. Right. So it was free to register on Eventbrite. They still had tickets the same day of. All you had to do was register. They had Barack Obama give a video message, and then earlier in the day they had big journalists like Masha Gessen come in and other big names in the media. You're telling me they couldn't get more than 60 people to fill up that room? Like there's barely anybody in there, right? I mean, there's people in there, but why aren't there more? I mean, everybody, respects this press, right? They should be filling up stadiums or something.
Nobody.
That's a great point.
Nobody respects the press. Their approval rating is like completely tanked out. And honestly, the one thing I would say about Tucker that I genuinely hope is true, I hope this is like a death knell for mainstream media, because listen, they've been dying off, right? I mean, we've been witnessing it. Their ratings are in the fucking toilet. Joe Rogan is crushing them many times over. Jimmy Dore has better numbers than a lot of mainstream media shows. You know what I'm saying? Like Glenn Greenwald, like there's a lot of independent people who are now pulling better numbers and better ratings on like smaller like platforms than CNN. Even with all that marketing and all of the algorithm help and all of that stuff, they're dying. And so this Tucker Carlson thing, number one guy in mainstream media, and they fired him. And so that's going to be really interesting to see how Fox News has already lost a shit ton of money. I would love for mainstream media to die in my lifetime. Please. That would
What's
be
happening? You'll get it.
I would love to see it. We still got a lot.
That's like a big dragon for me. I would love to see that slate.
Yeah. And to your point, there's a reason why there's only older people there, only 60 people there. You guys want to know who's in that crowd? That's their friends.
Yeah.
Like, the people who put the event together, that's their friends. That's their PMC social club. They come to their events. They show them support to each other. So that's why when people like Jose and the working class show up and protest, that's why you got the crowd jeering those people, because it's not ordinary people. These are people that usually invested in the events. We discussed this when you and your allies called out AOC and Chuck Schumer was there. There was another video a few months ago we covered like that.
Yeah.
And like when you look at that event, there was no working class people there. And how embarrassing it! You got Chuck Schumer and AOC at this fucking cafe at this public event. You would think this shit would be fucking packed.
Yeah.
No, it's literally nothing but DNC staffers. And I know that by my working class dragon eye. I was looking like, that's a suit, that's a high class purse. Look at these motherfuckers. Yeah, all these people are part of the Democratic Party. And that's what they do. They fill these events with staffers. And that actually serve multiple purposes. One of the purposes is so if someone like Jose or other people protest the government, you have people cheering, boo, boo. And that was that famous video when she said, when that dude was like, wake up. She's like, I don't want to wake up. I don't want to stay. I want to stay.
Oh, yeah.
Like, did you remember that video? I don't want to wake up.
Yeah, right. That was good. I remember that. We're not gonna wake up. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the people that attend these events.
Mhm.
So we almost done with this video. We get to part 2. This is a fun conversation. I'm enjoying it. Let's continue.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Thank
Let's
you.
go.
Really,
Let's
thank
go.
you.
Say something about this bombing. We blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. Listen, don't stand there while there are people rotting in prison. Nobody said anything about Uhuru, right? The socialists who are in jail for being critical of this war. God damn it.
Let's go.
At least say something about the people in jail for being critical of this war. They don't deserve to be
Say
in prison right now.
something.
That's
You
it.
fucking coward pieces of shit.
Yes, I was thinking like, okay, maybe I can get them to at least say something. Like at the very least, can you at least not say people shouldn't be in jail for having a different opinion? Like, if you want to put it that way.
Can you please come out as not a fascist, please?
Yeah.
I know you're asking too much of us.
Right? Like,
oh, they're like, please prove you're not a fascist right now.
yeah.
No, get them out of here! How dare you? How dare you condemn fascism?
Yeah.
Just like the very basic threshold too. Like, people who disagree with me shouldn't be in prison. I feel like that's a pretty basic one. I mean, I don't know.
No, and the moment I fell, what was I thinking when I fell, or when they pushed me, I should say? Because what it was what they did, they were dragging me and pushing me towards the front door or the exit, and they had all these rows of chairs there, and so they were pushing me into the rows of chairs, and then the dean just put he just pushed me down like that. I felt it. He just boom, popped me down like that, and I was like, all right, could I make a spectacle of this? Should I say something? I was like, actually, no. Let me stick to the script here. So the script being my whatever I was thinking of at the time. I was like, no. Like, right, there are people in jail right now that matter more than this. And it's not like I broke my ankle or something. I wish I broke my ankle. Then that'd be great, because then I called out the journalist and I get a paycheck, right, from the Dean of Columbia himself. But
And it probably gets a lot more attention.
way
I'm
more.
just saying. Yeah.
Oh,
If somebody gets a bone broken while protesting at an event like that, that somebody's going to cover it. People are going to cover it. So,
and Jose is right to be mad.
yeah.
Meanwhile, they're using civility politics. They try to use civility politics on Jose, and this guy is assaulting the motherfucker. This guy is assaulting, beating the shit out of Jose. Meanwhile, they're like, Jose, stop being rude.
You're using rude language, Jose. That's violence as
Stop
you're being
rude, Jose. God damn it, get down. Stop being rude.
Yeah.
That's shit for you guys. I told you, these people we never support violence. Meanwhile, they support the cops. What the fuck you think the cops engage in?
Yeah.
They engage in militarism. They support every war. You think the U.S. troops are going in the Middle East? You think they in Ukraine peacefully talking it out?
Right.
What you guys think is happening?
Listen,
violence is never okay except when we do it.
The gazillions of dollars of weapons that we're sending are they're nice weapons. Like they're very peaceful and civil weapons. No violence, no nothing. Yeah.
Liberals be like, love, peace, violence is never the answer. Oh, he's speaking out against the war. Get him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Get him. That's violence. What you guys just see happening, Jose, that's violence that they are approving of.
Y'all, can we just talk about for a second the absolute absurdity of people buying into the conflict in Ukraine who lived through Iraq? Like, if you lived through Iraq and you are falling for Ukraine,
So fucking.
I
That's so
mean,
ridiculous, Misty. We both seen the Iraq war and war on terror. That's why I told you, I said it many times. I was an anti-imperialist and I was anti-war way before I was a socialist and a Marxist. I voted for Jill Stein in 2016, not because she was an eco-socialist, because I saw her speaking up against the war. I didn't know what the fuck an eco-socialist was back then.
Yeah.
So our we were on the same age. Our formative years was watching the war on terror. That's why our generation was extremely anti-war, extremely questioning the deep
all a
state.
fucking lie.
They went from that. Now the DSA, the youth wing of the Democratic Party, is all for the Ukraine war. They all for every single State Department lie they telling you about these days. You got DSA people they like, we gotta condemn China. Why the fuck you feel like you gotta condemn China?
Oh my god!
Exactly.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Can you live in the United States of America? Shut the fuck up! You have no
Yeah.
room to
Fuck
be
up.
condemning anybody for anything. Your country is the worst. The everything. We're the worst of everything. We are the world's largest terrorist organization. We're brutalizing people all across. We're brutalizing our own people. I'm supposed to pretend like we care about the people in Ukraine. We don't even care about our own people. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. We have no moral superiority. Like when we try to lecture Russia about arresting Evan Gerskovich. Are you joking me? You are currently torturing Julian Assange. Shut the fuck up. You don't have any room to speak. It's beyond absurd. The absolute level of the lack of self-awareness that most Americans have is fascinating. Like, just shut the fuck up. You just shut up. Shut up. Oh, I'm sorry. You got me fired up now, guys.
I love when Misty get fired up. Like I at least want you to be principled, man. Like people who are independent against the two-party duopoly. Whenever I see them do anti-China stuff, I roll my eyes. I'm like, what? Why are you wasting time? Why are you backing the empire propaganda? But at least they didn't vote for Biden. Like, what gets me are these Democrat Marianne Wilson fucks who hate China, but they vote for Joe Biden. Like, you think Xi Jinping is worse than Jim Crow Joe? Who you think got the higher body count? You think Xi Jinping is a bigger authoritarian than Jim Crow Joe, the guy who supported the Patriot Act, the guy who tried to support the Restrict Act? Are you guys out of your mind?
China's never invaded another country.
We're the only ones that have used nuclear bombs.
Jose,
right.
Again, we have no room to talk. Zero. Shut the fuck up.
Jose, Misty, I know China technically didn't invade nobody, but they're building ports.
They're bringing clean water to African countries. Okay?
Y'all,
They
they almost completely eradicated poverty. What assholes?
They're out here making peace deals in the Middle East and ruining our fucking defense contractor money. What the fuck?
Jerks.
How dare they? How dare they? They're over here forgiving debts. We got an IMF here. We try and debt trap these people, and they over here building shit for free. Yeah. You guys okay with that?
I mean, that's just that they're monsters. I mean, they're monsters. What are they doing? Ugh, ridiculous.
Meanwhile, isn't it crazy the rise of anti-Asian hate in America? I wonder what that connected to.
Yeah, right.
Liberals will do those two segments back to back. They'll do segments like, oh my God, let's explain to you why the DPRK and why Russia and why China is evil, authoritarian. Their civilians are dumb, brainwashed zombies. Oh my God, why there's so much anti-Asian hate?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
There's part 2 to this video. I actually have not seen it, so I'm watching this live. I saw this while I was preparing for the show, so I'm actually curious to see it. So let's watch part 2 of this. After this, I'll just have fast headlines, not long. We can get you guys out here around an hour or so. I just got a few headlines I want you guys to react to after this.
I just need to be done in time to like reset. I have Jimmy at 11, so
yeah, I gotta make sure I watch that.
Well, so you can't watch it.
What you got coming up? Plug it real quick. What you got coming up?
My show, the Misty Winston Show on TNT Radio. It's 11 Monday through Friday, and Jimmy Dore's on tonight.
That shit is about to be powerful as hell, son. Like Misty and Jimmy ranting on the same stream. Yeah.
when I first started watching Jimmy Dore, my kid they were little, and my youngest used to say that I sounded like a girl Jimmy Dore because I would yell all the time when I was on shows.
So I'll make sure I get out here because I wasn't planning a long show. I will make sure I respect.
I'm fine.
No problem.
I'm fine.
So let's play this video here.
Yeah, this is right as I get kicked out and the door slams, my friend Kynan starts and he stands up.
And
then
this
he
is
goes
what you
for it.
guys do so well. And this is what
Tag
I learned
team.
from you guys, and other people need to learn as well. Bring backup.
Yes.
Always.
Tag
Bring
team that shit.
backup. That's
Yeah, you
it's
gotta-
such a good way. It's such a good thing that you're showing people this stuff.
You
Because
have to
go ahead.
you have to disrupt the event. Like,
Yeah.
and you know, I want to address this because people say, well, wait a minute, you know, don't leftists disrupt right-wing events all the time? Yes, I am a firm believer in free speech, and I believe, but I also believe in like a higher, how do I put this? Like, there is a reason to do these things, to disrupt an event like that, as I personally believe, as long as it's nonviolent and it's the truth, then you do have the moral obligation to disrupt an event like that. Because the guys up there like to sit in their ivory towers. All those people like to be taken seriously. And I confronted Mike Pompeo back in November with Kynan, actually.
Base.
And I made a mistake, though, because, like, I was calling him, like, you know, murderer, bloodthirsty, like, asshole. Yeah. And it got a lot of play, but see, that's the thing, right? Mike Pompeo loves that shit.
Mhm.
That's his whole profile. He probably jerks off to the fact that people don't like him. Like, that's his thing, right? So me yelling that at him, he's like, oh, yeah, I am the big bad Pompeo you want me to be. I have no problem killing anybody. He prides himself in the fact that he has no conscience.
He's so Christian.
Oh, yeah, right.
People think that Putin is worse than that guy. Like, that's crazy to me. But go ahead.
That is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, right. And so when you do that to like an AOC or somebody in the squad, that can work because they might have something in the back of their mind. I get a lot of shit for this, but I believe that AOC somewhere has a conscience. And people say, no, she's bought and sold and has been bought and sold for a long time. You know?
I want to hear you out. I want to hear you out.
No, because look, I think the corruption happened when she won her primary. I think at that point it was like, that's when she got co-opted. Because remember, she beat Joe Crowley, who was like this big establishment Dem, right? They weren't
who wanted Nancy Pelosi's spot, just so we know. And AOC was also an intern of Ted Kennedy, and she's oh, what's the shit? Hold on. I have it. Hold on. She's I can't think of the name. Oh, I'm so bad at names. Oh, a party graduate. She's Frederick S. Party School of Global Studies. So the Party School of Global Studies is dedicated to educating students to become globally competent citizens and leaders in international affairs. The Party School is housed within the College of Arts and Sciences and offers 5 majors and minors in disciplines such as international relations, Asian studies, European studies, Latin American studies, and Middle East and North Africa studies. Ready? Faculty range from CIA agents, expert international negotiators, former ambassadors, and White House advisors, and teach a curriculum focused on global leadership and awareness. And she is a graduate of this place, and she was an intern for Ted Kennedy, and she apparently her backstory is not, she was corrupted long before she was elected. Jose,
yeah, I want to hear Jose out.
I definitely disagree
because I used to think that too, and then I realized that they actively lied about her and her background, and actually a very malicious way. Like they try to pretend that she was just some bartender. I'm a working class bartender coming out of nowhere. No, the fuck she was not. And guys, I want you to answer this question. I didn't consider this before. How did she get that Netflix show?
What?
How?
Yeah.
Remember Brit knocked down the house?
Oh yeah.
How the fuck did that happen?
How do you get an internship with Ted Kennedy? You don't just get an internship with Ted Kennedy. You just do not.
Anyway, Jose, I want you to finish your point.
Yeah. Sorry.
Because it's not, to me, I understand why people think that, because she was really good. Because she tricked Glenn. She was on Glenn's show.
Yes.
That was the other thing.
Go ahead. I want you to speak. Go ahead, brother.
So yeah, you bring up the interview with Glenn Greenwald, right? So, mind you, I'm whatever. So she's 2018. I'm 20 years old when she wins her primary. And at the time that she wins her primary, I'm also going through it as a Bronx resident. My whole ceiling had collapsed in of itself with sewage water. I was living in a basement apartment. I went to my local councilman who told me to just fuck off, basically. Don't fight this. I went to my assemblywoman who didn't do anything. I went to my congressman at the time, Jose Serrano, who was retiring, now replaced by Richie Torres. So I didn't feel like anybody was going to help me. And even though I had gotten a lawyer pro bono, I had gotten the media, local media, to come and cover it, I felt hopeless and impotent. And so I reached out to her campaign at the time. I sent an email, and I have a thread about this. I sent an email to her campaign saying like, hey, listen, I don't know if you're real or not, but I hope you are, because I need your help. I really did need her help. I never heard back. Now, that might be enough to dissuade some people. I don't know. I don't know. Because look, I still held out hope. And I think a lot of people did, because I was like, maybe she's just inundated with tons of emails. And I'll say this, like, I just went viral again, right? I have now 58,000 followers on Twitter
killing
now.
the game.
And like when I first did the AOC intervention, I was replying to everyone. I was saying thank you. Now it's just too much. It's just too much. I can't reply to everyone. And so, at the time I was thinking like, maybe that's what's happening to her. She's just got so much stuff. There's no way to filter it out. And when I did I guess when was it that I like knew this was like messed up? Oh, well, it was when she refused to concede the votes for Nancy Pelosi. Because even though that was her strategy, and then she was just like, actually, we're going to vote for her as the speaker anyway. I was like, okay, well, she's full of shit now. Mm-hmm. But I'm a firm believer that when I and Kynan confronted her back in October, so the infamous AOC intervention, that when I and Kynan go after her and went after her, because remember, she's famous for saying, cause a ruckus. Don't be afraid to cause a ruckus. Do what you got to do, right? I did that to her. Kynan did that to her. Yep. And what freaked her out wasn't necessarily what we said, but the fact that we were doing it, because it's like she's being haunted by her own words and what I believe is her own conscience. I think she's young enough to where she still has one. She's not like Nancy Pelosi, though she's heading there really soon, where those people killed off their conscience on purpose, right? AOC has had to make moral concessions in order to actually win her re-election campaign for Congress, because she was saying, I don't care being a one-term congressman, and she was walking into like these people who were doing sit-ins in Nancy Pelosi's office, and she was saying how she's going to change everything. And again, remember, I'm 20 years old. I'm like, yeah, this is me. This is all, yeah, no problem. Now I'm 25, and I feel like I'm 80 years old at curmudgeon. Like, I don't trust anyone anymore.
How old are you, Jose?
I'm 25 now. Oh, 24. God, I'll be 25
in September. A baby.
My man's a baby putting work out here. What?
I love it.
What? That's crazy. That's crazy. Another reason why I think a lot of people give AOC a lot of benefit of doubt, and this is something I suffer too as well. I think good people who are good faith, it's hard for us to realize how psychotic people in the ruling class is.
Yeah.
How low they're, because I remember one of the reasons I fell for the Bernie grift is because I was thinking like, they wouldn't really take working class money and betray us like this, right?
You're so cute.
We people who want good in the world.
Yeah.
And this has been my biggest. This bit me ass so many times. Like this thing, we're always trying to find the good in people. Like that bit me ass so many times in real life, guys. You have no idea. And that's kind of how it was, and that's why I think why people gave AOC no benefit of doubt, because you guys are like, man, there's no way I would do what they did, but you guys, you have no idea the level of how psychotic you have to be to get in the position AOC is. And this is what I did not understand. Now this is me going a little preaching here, because once you have Marxist analysis, this stuff makes more sense, right? Yeah. I'm not telling you guys to be Marxist, but when you're not a Marxist, you say stuff like, well, I used to say, we like, well, you wouldn't portray us like that, right? That's why I used to say before I was a Marxist, right? Then when you become a Marxist, you realize that Nancy Pelosi, these people are part of this club because their class interests are so strong. That binds them together. You guys understand? Jose screaming at Rashida Tlaib, screaming at Jamal Bowman, screaming at these people, they don't give a fuck. They are here to perform and get the praise and accolations of their class interests. And these class interests cannot be reconciled through electoral politics. This is what Marxists come to understand. We can't reconcile this class interest, so we have to build a working class movement from the bottom up to destroy, eat the rich in a way, destroy their class interests, because there's no reconciling. You're not going to have an AOC. You're not going to have someone that comes from the establishment, as we explained. You're not going to have people who are integrated in the establishment help the people outside their class beat the system. So once you understand that, that's why as a Marxist now, I laugh at myself. Like, what? I really thought these cloud traders was going to help us? It's ridiculous. People get a Netflix deal, but they're going to do a revolution. It's absurd to think about now, right?
Yes.
In hindsight.
Well,
And I wish
let me-
people across the board, like Trump supporters, you need to understand your dude does not give a shit about you.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, I understand. Listen, I think that people have a really deep need, a desperate need for a hero, especially right now. I think a lot of people are really desperate, and so they need. I think we want to see somebody. Oh, this person's going to say. Trump does not give a shit about you. I should not one single fuck. Not once, not even half, not half of a fuck. Trump does not care about you. And it was the same way with Obama. It's the same way with Biden. It's the same way with Bernie. None of them give a fuck about you. And I wish everybody would just come to terms with that and realize that if you are accepted into that world, into the United States electoral system, you are not somebody who is an ally to the people, period. They don't allow those kinds of people in positions of power like that. They just do not. Either one of two things happens. If you are a good person and you enter into that system, one of two things happens. Either you assimilate or they find a way to get you out. Ask Dennis Kucinich. Ask Cynthia McKinney. This is what they do. If you are a good person and you enter into electoral politics, you either assimilate or they'll find a way to get you out. And that is it. So anybody who maintains their position in that system cannot be trusted. Cannot.
I want to pose a question to both of you because, you know, I happen to believe that human beings, no matter, and also Nick, I agree with you that we do need to have a bottom-up kind of organizing system, but I would say that it has to affect the top down.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, though, I want to pose this to you. Do you think it possible to shake the minds of the progressive caucus or the progressive side of Congress to actually do something? Because, like,
it depends what we asking. Like, if we demanding them stand up for Roe v. Wade, yeah.
No, I don't even think they're willing to do that. They're willing to performatively do that. They will like they'll do like a sleep in or they'll do whatever. You know, they're fine with doing performative stuff that makes you think as if they're doing something, but they're never going to actually, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, they're never going to actually do something. They may flick the crumbs of crumbs in your general direction, but they're never going to actually step outside. Would you? I mean, think about it. I mean, maybe Jose would because he's a badass, but I mean, most people, when you enter into that, those are very powerful people. And they, as Chuck Schumer said, live on national television, they have 6 ways of Sunday to come for you. And they fucking will. And so I don't even necessarily blame people who are good people and enter into that system. I mean, you should leave. Like if you, you should not assimilate. The people who stay and make all kinds of moral sacrifices to get like be part of the club, like fuck you, you're a scumbag. But I understand like the idea that people think that they can get in there and really make change. Like I can, I'm just one person, but I can, be loud. I can do. They will fuck you up. They will ruin your life. And I don't think a lot of people are brave enough to take that on. I agree. We're never going to get change on the electorate. This is just my opinion. Come for me if you want. I don't give a fuck. We will never get any change of substance through the electoral system, period.
I agree mostly with Misty here. And the reason why I say I think it depends on what we ask of them. Because we ask them to do easy shit. Like if we was to demand them to stand up against the corruption of Clarence Thomas, any red blue shit, they're gonna pretend like, yeah, we're responsible. Yeah, we want to stand up with this youth group that's supporting our talking points and agenda anyway. Yeah. But if there's anything that we want, any strategy that we don't agree that they're doing, any feedback that we are giving them, their role, and this is why I realized, and this is why I became oppositional to these people. They tell working class people to shut the fuck up and fall in line. We had ideas, and you guys don't have to listen to every single one. But every single action we had, they ignored. Every single idea we had that they ignored. They didn't even get forced to vote a trial. They didn't even get March for Medicare for All a trial. They didn't even get General Strike Summit a trial. They have, and I cannot emphasize enough to answer this question. They don't want anything to do with us. That's the thing. Like even if I wasn't as oppositional to the Bernie Sanders left as I am, if I wanted to reach out to them for stuff, they would ignore me.
I have reached out to them. Every time we have an Assange event, we reach out every single time. And I have made it very clear that myself, because people yell at me all the time, oh, you're willing to work with Tucker Carlson, but you're not willing to work with AOC. I would absolutely work with AOC if she stood for anything that I cared about, but she doesn't. She doesn't fight against war. She doesn't fight for Julian Assange. She doesn't fight for the people. She won't fight for healthcare. Listen, she wouldn't fight for, she wouldn't do force the vote because $15 an hour was more doable. She didn't do that either. Like, she lies to you. She gaslights you. She pretends she's doing stuff. She writes strongly worded letters. She gives these ridiculous speeches with her arms going all over the place like I'm doing now, and she does nothing of substance. None of them do any. It is all performative, and it is all to make you think as if they are doing something and to kind of create that team mentality, and they don't give a fuck about you. And even the stuff that you said that they would do, like against Clarence Thomas, they're not going to actually do anything. They're going to puff up their chest. There's going to be speeches on the House floor where they're freaking out and she yells and does the thing with her thing and all this stuff, and it will mean absolutely nothing. Nothing will be done. He won't be held accountable because they all fucking do it. They all are guilty of these kinds of financial crimes and taking favors and all of that stuff. So they're just going to bluster up about it, and then it'll disappear into the headlines. Nothing will get done. Nothing will change. But it was a really great distraction away from the fact that we're still continuing to arm Nazis. So everybody's talking about Clarence Thomas, but we're not talking about the things that matter. And that's what that's all about. Sorry, I got fired up again.
No, we love it. We love it. And we had worker strike back, and I'll pass to you, Jose. But like, if you think, and this is rational, because people in the Bernie Sanders left hate me because they all knew me, and they consider me someone who betrayed them, right? So
I know
they had nothing to do. They didn't want anything to do with the March for Medicare for All because we was there. They didn't want to be part of the General Strike Summit because we was hosting that. I was at Worker Strike Back held by socialists, and they didn't shout it out at all. They refused to shout out Worker Strike Back. So remember when you had the Rage Against the War Machine rally, and they said we like the idea of activism and protesting, but we don't want to attend this one. We don't want to support this one because it's led by right wingers and libertarians. Meanwhile, Socialist Alternative, a socialist group, have a labor event, something they claim to care about, and they don't tweet about it. They don't show up, and they have reached out to them. So let's get this. Let's understand. I'll pass to you, I know you want to chime in. I apologize, but to answer your question, they don't want to organize with libertarians. They don't want to organize people on the right, and they don't want to organize with socialists. That's Socialist Alternative. They don't want to organize with RBN. They don't want to organize with Misty. They don't want to organize with anyone except if you're a Democrat. Like, if you're a Democrat, then they all on board. But Jose, I know you want to chime in, and Misty, I know you got. We'll wrap up here soon. Jose, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I'll make this the last point, and I guess we can get going. We got 19 months till the next election, and I think something needs to happen now. That's partly why I was asking if there's some way in which we can get these Congress people to do something. But here's an alternative I'd like to present. There are 435 congressional districts. Now, that means, is there one person in each district who is willing to stand up in the way that I did and the way that my comrades have and do what I did and just speak truth to power, whether it's at a congressman or at some event, like at a journalist event, or somebody of some prominence who is just speaking lies and is just some kind of asshole, I think that matters a whole lot more than whatever AOC or whomever says what. Because if you can get one person, every congressional district, 435 people, and that's a minimum. It doesn't have to be that much. But one person standing up in each congressional district, and it doesn't even have to also be an intervention. It could be somebody running for Congress as an independent. Because I agree with what you say. It's also the same thing with you, Misty. Like, when people say, I'm going to go in this and I'm going to change it from the inside. No, you're not. Yeah, good luck with that. It's like trying to say, I'm going to join the mafia and we're going to try and change it from the inside out. It's like, no, These people are, I believe people should run as independent. And I think 2024 is the time to do it. But even before the election year, and people have been asking me if I'm going to run for Congress, and the answer is no. So
that makes me happy.
I don't blame you though. Yeah. I don't blame you. Me and Misty, we have slight disagreement on this issue. We talk about it many times. I tell you guys, I do not get that invested in electoral politics, especially do not get into two-party duopoly.
Go.
I think you missed my nuance because I was saying no, but shaking my head yes, as if so people don't know yet. I don't know yet. Let me try that
I think he
again.
should have run.
Yes.
Because if I say all the time that people should run as independent, but who? Like if
Right.
not you, who? That's why I say yeah. To be clear.
If you're gonna run, you
That's
should
why I say
run to be like the loudest, most absolute ridiculous thorn in their side that you can possibly be. Like go to any event that they're doing, your opponents, whatever. I mean, because that's the only thing that you're ever going to accomplish is being able to cause a ruckus, as AOC would say, and make noise for things and be obnoxious and try to disrupt as much as you possibly can and call attention to issues that need to be called attention to, because they're going to try to bury you. They're already doing it to Marianne Williamson and RFK Jr. They're not mentioning them in polls. They're not talking about them in articles. Nobody's acknowledging that they're even running. Big surprise, guys. Can't believe it. Oh my gosh. Marianne Williamson is just shocked that her party would do this.
But I actually strongly agree with what Jose said in the strategy, and I'll tell you guys why. Because I told you my theory of change is not us probably a two-party duopoly, and not even us being that invested in electoral politics. But what if we build mutual aid organizations on the local level?
Yeah,
like that's the focus. The focus is building mutual aid organizations, building people so they can protest members of the ruling class, like Jose, like many of the things that we're trying to do with RBN chapters. But then with every election, just have someone on the ballot. And that person has to be someone who part of the mutual aid organization. And the thing is, we don't really care if we win. We just giving people an option. Vote for in our state, we have direct ballot initiatives. I think that's one of the only things you should really focus on. We got recreational marijuana, increased minimum wage. We got literally affordable homes, increased Medicaid expansion through direct ballot democracy. And if you do not have that in your state, that should be a priority.
Yeah. My biggest thing, honestly, is that I feel like that is a waste of time, money, energy, and resources, because you're not, and I guess you just have to kind of weigh the pros and cons of it. Are you actually going to get enough coverage, enough attention on these issues to make, and how much money do you intend to spend on doing it? Like if you plan to run an actual campaign and you're going to spend money on ads and you're going to do, that's why would you do that?
In my vision, I don't think you should run. You should not run a campaign like Democrats or Republicans do. Why run TV ads? That's a waste of money. What I'm talking about is building an organization. Like imagine like a 12-4. Anyone know who you are because you're showing up for them. You build community. You are showing up at protests. You organize the events. And then, hey, if you want to vote for them, this is some guy on top of the ticket. Not a big deal. If this someone vote to. It not even like how. And this is why I'm turned off by Marianne Williamson and RFK Jr. because they running like standard Democrats. Like I don't want to see TV ads. I don't want to see them cheesy ads advertisements. I don't want to see you pretend you're friends with the fucking person. It need to be a completely unique approach. So I think that's that's why I say 15%. Not a lot of energy towards electoral politics, but if you give someone an option while showing up to them on a local level, that's how you build movements, how you build a momentum that you need for a revolution. But once again, this is all theory because we haven't seen it happen here.
I don't begrudge people.
That's all it is.
I don't begrudge people who want to attempt, like Shahid Buttar is a good example. Every time I talk to him, we have that conversation that we disagree very much on whether electoral politics is a worthwhile venture. But I don't begrudge him trying. I think, some people can, that's what they want to do. And if you can be effective in calling out Nancy Pelosi and her district, and fine, go for it, do it. I don't begrudge anybody their strategy if that's what you want to do. I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm gonna play this last video just for sake of time. I'm gonna give you guys out here because this is part 2. We didn't play it yet.
This always happens.
It was a good conversation, so I feel like it wasn't a big deal. So I'm gonna play without interrupting, just for the sake of time. So let's play it through one time, and then I'll give you guys final thoughts. And I'm definitely gonna make sure I watch the Jimmy and Misty show. That's gonna be funny. That's gonna be dope. Anyway, let's watch this and let's. I'll get thoughts.
He's right about Julian Assange. He was the only one who did his job right.
Oh my God! Someone else holding us accountable. God damn it!
Women in Afghanistan killing civilians. None of your outlets reported that. None of your outlets did. Instead, you're bowing down to the war policy of the war nuts who are going to get us all blown up in a world. You continue to work for the outlets who continue to lie to the American public and will get us killed. Why don't you leave those outlets? Why don't you do? Tucker Carlson was kicked out because he had the guts to actually talk about the war. He had the guts.
MSNBC fired Donahue He had the highest rated show on MSNBC, and he got fired for criticizing the invasion of Iraq in 2002. This is a disgrace.
Chris Hedges
He
got
lied
fired
about
from the New York
Iraq,
Times.
Yep.
Libya, Syria, Ukraine, supporting bailouts, money printing. Now we're on the brink of World War III. If World War III kicks off, the blood is on your hands.
Yeah.
What a powerful video. I swear you gotta do some evil ruling class shit to unlock that laugh that guy did at the beginning of the video.
Yeah.
like that's the laugh you do when you know you're on some evil shit and you being caught out for it. You see that laughing? Like normal working class people don't do that shit normally. Yeah, you guys ever seen anyone just do that?
No.
Like called out for something. Like imagine if you're a worker, you late, and your boss calls you in, and you're like, "You're late, Nick." I know you got me. That was real clap. Oh, you get called out for work class. You think you're gonna hold me accountable? So ridiculous. But anyway, final thoughts on that video. That's powerful stuff, Jose.
Yeah, well done.
Organization, base as hell as always.
Yeah, I would just, for my closing thoughts real quick, and then I'll let it go to you guys. You know, people want me to run for Congress. I want everyone else to go do what I just did. How about that? How about that deal? If we get 435 interventions, I'll run. I'll run for fucking president. I'm not even 25 yet. I'll do it.
I love it.
I'll just read some. I'll put them on the stream already. I'll just read them out to get shout outs, and then we get you guys out of here. Thank you for the $5. Dwayne, thank you, Jose, for everything you do.
Thank you, Dwayne.
Absolutely. Jose is killing the game. Thank you for $11, Hobbs. While we investigate Nord Stream, let's also look at the mysterious blast, which also destroyed Beirut and Kurdish earthquake. And the Kurdish earthquake, which will probably never again be in the American news cycle. Absolutely. Thank you for $11, Hobbs. This is our friend of the show,
Jay.
Brother Jay. He said, "Great show, guys." There's no way this show wasn't gonna be powerful. There's literally no way. There's no way I could have fucked this up. Like Misty and Jose on here. After Jose went viral, there's no way we could have fucked this up. Thank you for the $20, Lulu. The people in mass in the audience. Also, please make post Duarte left as merchandise, please. Now I think I'm very paranoid because the algorithm, so I'm gonna say I believe masks are safe and effective vaccines on YouTube. So I'm gonna say that. Thank you for super chat, Lulu. Quote unquote,
all hail Lord Fauci.
All hail. Never question Moderna, you fucking peasants. How dare you even consider questioning the great Moderna? You know, I'm on the left. You know what leftists do? We defend Big Pharma now. I'm a good lefty. Anyway, thanks for the $5, Miss. Jose Tucker's speech at the Heritage Foundation was this shout out to you. If you haven't listened to it yet, you should take a listen. It's awesome. I haven't heard it yet. Like
it's okay.
I'm not like Heritage Foundation. I don't.
You're right.
I
know he did defend Uhuru there. He told them.
He did.
No, I'll play that.
He did. The speech isn't awesome. It's okay.
See, the thing with Tucker, only do that motherfucker in clips because, and people who think I was praising Tucker, people like, oh my god, Nick,
oh my god,
like you never watched my show. Have you guys seen me times I bash Tucker? Like Tucker is good in clips and he's good in sound bites because for every one good Ukraine segment he does, there's like 3 or 4 culture warrior shit I can't get.
Yes.
Yeah, apparently at the Heritage Foundation speech, he was like, yeah, it's important. We got to pray every day.
Yes.
We gotta pray. I'm like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just me. Not for me. It's not for me.
No,
anyway.
that's the thing though with him is that you do have to take him in small doses. You know what I mean? Like it's very small doses, and he's really not to be trusted. But listen, I did watch that speech. It's okay. It's Tucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I played the part. I played the bass part on my stream where he defended the socialists. I had no interest in watching the whole thing.
Yeah,
they for the $5.
Someone here in the comments said, Sonia here in the comments said that Misty was making AOC sound like her ex. So,
what I do?
What was that?
When you were talking about AOC and you were going about how evil she is. Listen,
I'm glad you dodged that bullet.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know, Missy. I think the only reason you don't like AOC because you actually secretly want to date her.
I do.
I think there's a lot of-
Absolutely. I'm
I think there's a lot of
dying. It's
frustration.
unrequited love. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's.
Terrible.
I mean, there's the sexual frustration and the fact you're secretly in the closet. Apparently, that's what.
Dude, can you imagine if I came out, I would suddenly be like the hero. Everybody would love me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you'd be acceptable then. Thanks
I
for
would
apologizing,
totally.
Christian.
Yeah.
Thank you,
You are a
Christian.
hero in my eyes,
I'm
Jose.
gay for
Thanks
AOC.
speaking on our behalf. If I want to read the super chat real quick, I will make sure Jose feel the solidarity.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you for the $5, Jose. What is your stream and how do we find out about these meetings? Pretty much asking you to shout your stuff out, Jose. That's the way you want.
Yeah, Mike in the chat too said, "Do you teach your strategy, Jose?" So I mean,
Yes,
Yeah, you
I
can
do
tell us
teach my
how
strategy. People can go to rageagainstwar.com or Rage Against the War Machine. Those people have put up a little sign up where people can get the classes and people can access the previous classes we've done. We've done 2 classes. We go through how to find it, how to find an event, what to do at an event, but most importantly, what to say and how to say it.
Yeah.
You know, the first intervention you do may not be the best. You know why? Because it takes a lot of courage to stand up and just break the social contract, right? Just to stand up and break this order of, okay, we listen to the person speaking and then we sit down. That takes a lot to break. And so people can go there. People can find me on Declaring Independence on YouTube. That's the name of our YouTube channel. Hasn't been very active. It's my fault. I started it when we did the AOC intervention. And then around that time, I was going through a terrible breakup with somebody who was kind of like an AOC as my ex. And then, I don't know, I went through death in the family, and I was just overall depressed. I don't know why. I guess, I felt like, oh God, I have this responsibility on my shoulders. But now we're back in the game, baby. And I want to also thank people who've donated to me when I lost my job with Hakeem Jeffries, and people who donated to me when I posted the intervention just recently. You're all amazing. I can go to the dentist now. Like that's amazing to me. Okay. Last time I was at the dentist, I was like 12. Okay. So
I don't know last time I
right. And then also like, anyway. Yeah. So I feel supported and I feel great that all of you support me. And of course, follow me on Twitter. I promise to make sure to keep speaking truth to power if you guys keep supporting me. And that's really it. And I just want to, but I guess one more thing is stand up too. 435 districts in this country, at least 435 people got to stand up and do this too.
Well said, Jose. Misty, any last thoughts? Plug your program. I got to make sure I tune in because you have Jimmy joining your radio show tonight. Should be a good one. Any last thoughts? Anything else you want to plug?
No, just thanks for having me. Thanks, Jose, for being awesome and for all the stuff that you do. It's very courageous. I hope more people do it. Do it. And yeah, I have Jimmy tonight at 11. So in about 40 minutes ish or so on TNT Radio. You can go to tntradio.live. It's also on all the podcast stuff. They have an app, all that good stuff. But yeah, so that's at 11 o'clock. It's on every Monday through Friday. So I have Jimmy tonight. Who else do I have? I have Brooke Hines, who some of you may know from Twitter. She was somebody who was vaccine injured, and I think she took a lot of shit from like Graham Elwood. They got into that really public battle about it. So yeah, that was unfortunate. Yeah.
How dare you stand up to someone injured by the big pharma? What are you, a right winger?
Right. And Jose will be on next week, Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday.
So yeah, tune in for that too. We'll talk about this a little bit more, obviously, on there. So and shout out to TNT Radio because there's no censorship, and that's my thing. So yeah, we can speak freely. It's nice. I mean, they like it to keep they like to keep me to a minimum of like F-bombs. Like they're pretty chill about it. Like if if there's a couple here and there. I will say though that Matt Orfalea came on last year when I did the first I took like a little break. So my first run, and I seriously, I wish somebody would, I can't listen to myself, but if somebody would go back and listen to that episode and count the number of F-bombs he dropped in 1 hour, I would like to know the number because it's a lot. And they were like, okay, that's maybe a little excessive, but other than that, I can say whatever the fuck I want. So it's good. I like it.
Yeah. Make sure you guys check her out. I'm gonna pop you guys out. Thank you for your time. It's always
thanks,
fun.
guys.
You guys definitely gonna see, Misty's always, we gotta do a rant session every once in a while.
Yeah.
So you gotta see more of her and Jose.
Exercise the demons.
Of course. So I'm gonna just read the last few super chats. Thank you for the $10. Brian forgot to include my shout out and my $30 super chat to Jose and Misty. We need more and merch from you all. Appreciate the solidarity, and that's the main message that Jose and RBN want to leave you guys. Like, we laugh, we cry, we have a lot of fun on YouTube or whatever, but we need to get in the streets. We need to actually do something to affect positive change. Whenever we talk about Nord Stream, whenever we talk about Ukraine, whenever we talk about the corruption of our government, we get upset. So we can channel that energy to action, and that's what Jose is doing. And Jose is motivating a ton of people to do this. So that's fantastic. Thank you for the $10, Carrie. Please discuss with these two amazing guests, U.S. citizen-owned utilities. I guess we do that next time. Thank you for $10 to carry, but utilities and resources, we can all get a check every month like Alaska does with its oil. We can end poverty and fix reparations, free healthcare. Well said, my friend Carrie. With that said, hopefully you guys enjoy the show. Thursday is always a great day because we have the Savvy and JB show. Today on Wednesday we have 2 live streams. CJ usually start off first, then Nick at night on Wednesday. Always fun, always coming here with our friends, talking about a lot of great stuff. So Nick, Savvy and JB show tomorrow on Thursday. Make sure you guys support the Patreon if you guys want to see the channel continue to grow, put more content out there. Also, the GoFundMe, that's another way you guys can track all the donations. It's a way for us to be transparent with everything as well. So make sure you guys support us on Patreon, GoFundMe, so we can pay everyone their fair labor value. Much love and appreciation, my friends. We out.